of the week, we should discuss everything leading up to it, because if people don't know, obviously Cardiacs is a band that had a profound effect on a lot of artists that get played on the show.
Yeah.
Because as these things always go, there's like a family tree, isn't there? And I think the most obvious one is that I'm going to draw attention to when I play songs on the show before each time I play it tonight, is that if you didn't have Cardiacs, Mr. Bungle wouldn't sound the way it does, and if Mr. Bungle didn't exist, then bands like System of a Down and Korn, etc., probably wouldn't sound quite the way they do.
For real.
Etc., etc.
Yeah. They're possibly the most influential band I've ever known, really. You know, I mean, apart from your Black Sabbaths and whatnot, but you're right, it is quite a fractal situation, because they are a band that your favourite band probably really loves, you know.
Yeah, and I think I look back on, I think I went to see him at Reading Festival like years and years and years and years ago, because a friend of mine played me a couple of tracks.
Right.
For me, that was it. I was immediately like, this is absolutely the most weird, full-on, beautiful, chaotic thing. So, for those that aren't aware, frontman Tim, who was essentially the driving force behind the band, is that correct, would you say? Is that fair to say?
100%. He wrote every note of the music and was the lead singer, lead guitar player.
Okay, and he passed away in...
he passed away 5 years ago. He'd suffered an extremely debilitating heart attack and a stroke in 2008. And leading up to that happening, he'd been working on what was, you know, a really huge project for him. I don't think he ever stopped writing. He always had stuff he was working on. You know, like, you know, going into, I was just a huge fan, and we became pals. He worked with my old band Ocean Size, and we were pretty tight, you know, albeit at a distance. And so he was always writing stuff, and then when physically he couldn't do anything, over the years, the dream was always to rehabilitate him, to get him to the point where he could complete this record. It never quite happened, but he was able to direct his nearest and dearest into getting the record to sound the way he wanted it, because it was all written, it was all done, he just hadn't dotted the I's and crossed the T's, as it were. And that's where I came in.
Yeah, and tell me about that. How did that come about? Because I think the thing is, when you made the announcement on your socials the other day, the reaction to most people that you hadn't sort of talked to about it already was one of people just being absolutely having their minds blown. So, right?
Well, you know me quite well, Dan. I'm not very good at keeping a secret, but I've had to sit on this for 2 years. I recorded the vocals for the album LSD 2 years ago, and it's been a really, really emotional thing. Just getting in the studio. We did it in Tim's home studio at Jim's insistence. Jim's his brother. Jim's now in charge of the band. Jim's always been in Cardiacs along with Tim, and he's the only other constant. So he's the boss. So when he played me the songs in the state they were in, with all this elaborate, beautiful brass arrangements and string arrangements and orchestral arrangements, I just fell to bits, because suddenly we got our mate back. Tim's my hero, he's my number one, and to suddenly hear these compositions I'd never heard, but made fully realised, I was like, holy smokes, I just couldn't believe it. So to sing this stuff has been, there are very few dreams left to dream. I say that every couple of years, but then something else crazy happens, man, and this is the latest one.
Right, you sending me that first song,
right,
that we're about to hear tonight as Tune of the Week, I didn't know what was going on. Like, I knew you'd been doing this, but I couldn't work out how much was you, whether there was Tim singing on it. I don't know, because it feels
Well, there are songs on the record that Tim is singing on. They've used some of his just demo vocals, and then we're all backing him up. But there's myself on there, there's a lady called Rose Ellen Kemp is on there, and then there's just absolutely everybody, all of Tim's most loved ones, joining in some huge sort of chorus gang vocal effect. There's a lot of that on the record. I think they just wanted it I think the most notable thing about this stuff, and what I've seen from the reaction online, is that nobody's really talking about, oh my god, it's a new singer. I don't think anybody really cares, because what you can hear is the unmistakable stink of Tim Smith's writing. This sounds like a Cardiacs record to me, and I think that everybody else hears Cardiacs, everybody else hears Tim. And so the most important thing in all this is that it's not about me, it's not even about the fans, it's just a bunch of friends wanted to get this record finished, and it just so happens that it's the most amazing psychedelic opus. It's such a huge record, there's so much scope on it, and anybody who's really digging this song, and I know I've not read a bad word about it yet, I mean, nobody's going to tell me anything bad, but you ain't heard nothing yet. This record is absolutely phenomenal. I'm so proud to be involved with it. It's amazing. This is the brand new song, the first song since 2007 by my beloved Cardiacs, and hopefully soon to be your beloved Cardiacs. The song's called Wood Nights from the album LSD, coming soon.